I'm Paige, 30 years old, and I work at a subcontractor company that makes car parts. Lately, something really happy happened in my life. My older brother Paul got married. Of course, I attended the wedding, and let me tell you, it was incredibly extravagant. I mean, seriously, it felt like something out of a movie. A few days later, Paul called me and said, "Thanks for coming, even though I know you're busy." And I couldn't help but blurt out, "That wedding was amazing." I was honestly blown away, and the food at the reception, that was like luxury restaurant level.
Oh yeah, my father-in-law's friend is a world-renowned chef. He handled the entire wedding menu.
What? No wonder it tasted so good. And get this, my new sister-in-law's family, they live in a literal mansion. During the wedding, I ended up chatting a lot with Paul's new father-in-law.
Hey, you and my father-in-law really hit it off at the wedding, huh?
Yeah, we were talking about work, actually.
That makes sense. You both work in the auto industry. I thought you two would get along. He told me you even exchanged contact info.
We did. We kind of lost track of time chatting.
He told me he really liked you, said you were polite, funny, and super energetic. He was like, "She's a great little sister-in-law."
So yeah, I was genuinely so happy that Paul had such a beautiful wedding, and honestly, I felt proud to be a part of it. But then, not long after that, something way less pleasant happened. I ran into someone I really didn't want to see. Ben. Ugh. Ben was a classmate of mine back in middle school. His dad was the CEO of some company, and Ben was your classic rich kid who never let anyone forget it. Always trying to one-up people with how much money his family had. I mean, our class was full of pretty decent, level-headed kids, so no one really bullied him or anything. But let's just say, no one liked him. I remember one time Ben came up to me and said,
"Hey, Paige, what's up with that cheap pencil case? Look at mine. It's a designer's pen case. My dad bought it for me. I bet it's the most expensive one in the whole school. Pretty cool, huh? You're jealous, right? Come on, admit it."
"Oh, that's nice. I need to go use the bathroom. Bye," and just exited the conversation as fast as possible. Yeah, I tried to stay as far away from him as I could. So one day, our school held elections for student council. I was actually encouraged by my teachers and classmates to run for student body president, so I did. But of course, guess who else decided to run? Yep, Ben. He loved being the center of attention, so I guess it was only a matter of time. During the campaign period, Ben kept coming up to me with this smug look on his face, saying things like,
"There's no way someone like you is getting elected. The student council president is the leader of the students, the top. And you know what people at the top need? Money and power, which you don't have."
Yeah, don't ask me what that even means. He clearly thought he had the whole election in the bag. But then, the results came in, and guess what? I won. I was elected student body president. From that moment on, Ben became completely obsessed with hating me. He'd follow me around, muttering stuff like, "You piss me off, stupid girl. Look at that sad little face of yours." Over and over, just constant petty insults. It was honestly pathetic and exhausting. Thankfully, the other students and teachers were all on my side. They called Ben out for his behavior every time, but still, having him constantly breathing down my neck made my school life really stressful. Years passed, though, and eventually I started working at the company I'm at now, making parts for cars. A few months into the job, something surprising happened. Our company landed a major contract with none other than Panic Collection Motors, Ben's father's company. Actually, Panic Collection is a big-name auto company, so this was huge for us, and apparently, Ben also worked there. But at that time, I was still a newbie, so I wasn't involved in the deal at all. It was a high-stakes contract that could really impact our business, so only the senior staff handled it. Still, I couldn't help but feel a weird sense of fate creeping in. Over the past few years, I'd gradually earned the trust of my coworkers, my team, and even my managers. One day, my boss called me in and said, "Paige, we'd like you to take over the Panic Collection Motors account from here on out." Now, I knew Ben worked for that company, but turning down a job just because of a personal grudge, that's not my style. I don't believe in mixing personal feelings with work. So I looked my boss in the eye and said, "Got it. I'd be happy to handle it." Besides, it's been years since middle school. I figured Ben probably matured a little by now, right? It was all wrong. One day I had some business over at Panic Collection Motors, and I was waiting for the elevator in the lobby. Just then, a male employee walked up beside me, scrolling through his phone. He clearly wasn't paying attention, just standing there silently next to me, waiting for the same elevator. Out of habit, I glanced over at his face and instantly froze. No way. That face. It's him. It's Ben. Before I could decide whether to pretend I didn't see him, he looked up, and of course, he recognized me too.
Hey, wait a sec. Aren't you Paige?
Ugh, great. He noticed. Then, with that same smug tone he always had, he said,
Wow, you still have that same punchable face, huh?
"Excuse me?"
And you're working for one of our suppliers, right? I heard your name from a coworker who's handling your company's account. I cracked up, man. You ended up in some tiny little company after all. Suits you though, plain, poor, and average as ever. Perfect fit for you.
Unbelievable. He hadn't changed one bit since middle school. Yeah, that kind of petty name-calling, Ben had been doing that ever since I got elected student council president. At this point, it was almost, nostalgic in a way. I mean, seriously, what is so bad about working at a subcontractor company? I actually like my job. Jeez. Anyway, I decided to ignore him. He's not worth it, so I just stood there silent, pretending I couldn't hear a thing.
Yo, I'm talking to you. You deaf or something? Say something.
Just then the elevator finally arrived. I stepped forward to get in, but Ben suddenly threw both arms out and blocked the doors.
You don't get to use the elevator, you damn contractor. Take the stairs like you belong.
What? I was stunned. This guy is a grown man, an adult, and this is how he acts? Unbelievable. What the hell are you doing? But right at that moment, the elevator doors closed and I missed it. I was furious, absolutely livid. That jerk! When I got back to my office, I told my boss everything, and to their credit, my boss didn't brush it off. They immediately reported the incident to the president of the Panic Collection Motors, aka Ben's father. Later, I got a phone call from Ben's dad. He apologized for what happened. But then a little while later, something even more unsettling happened. One day during lunch at work, a coworker leaned over and said, "Hey, did you hear? The president of Panic Collection Motors collapsed. He's seriously ill, and apparently his son Ben is going to take over as CEO." Wait, what? Ben? As in that Ben? He's going to be the next president? Is that safe? Sure enough, just a few days after Ben officially became the second-generation CEO of the company, a major incident happened. It was a regular weekday morning. I was in the conference room with a few of our company executives and our president discussing some really important matters. Then, out of nowhere,
Yoo-hoo! I'm coming in, all right?
the door burst open and Ben walked in without knocking, with one of my junior coworkers trailing behind him saying, "Excuse me, sir, this is an important meeting. You can't just barge in like, why are you here all of a sudden?"
Relax, I was in the area and figured I'd swing by and deliver a very important message to you personally. From me, your wonderful new CEO. Here's the deal. From now on, I want all the parts you send our company to be sold at half price. Sound good? Great!
I'm sorry, what did you just say? Every single person in that room except Ben reacted just like I did. Eyes wide, jaws practically on the table. Half price? Do you realize that would completely destroy our company? We'd go under.
Yeah, well, your company basically depends on our contract to survive, right? You owe everything to us.
And unfortunately, he wasn't totally wrong. Over the past few years, we've been doing a lot of business with Panic Collection Motors. In fact, the majority of our revenue was now coming from them. It had become a major part of our operations. He knew that. He was just using it to leverage us and to squeeze us. He was stepping all over us because he could. Unbelievable. What a power trip.
You don't really think you can say no to me, do ya? We're doing you a favor by using a tiny little company like yours in the first place. Honestly, your parts aren't even worth a dime, but I'm generously offering to keep buying them at half price. And you should be grateful for that. Especially her! That smug little face. I can't stand it!
Then he pointed right at me and added with a laugh,
There are plenty of other contractors out there who'd kill for a deal like this. Got it? Half price. Do as I say, or I'll cancel everything.
This guy is out of his mind. What kind of unhinged CEO acts like this? Seriously, who thought it was a good idea to let him run a company? But here's the thing. What Ben didn't know was what kind of meeting we'd been having before he barged in. And let's just say, things were about to turn around. Ben had no idea that he was seconds away from watching his whole arrogant little empire start to crumble. Yep, from that moment on, Ben's life, it went straight downhill and fast.
Hey, what the hell's with the awkward silence, huh? What, are y'all frozen or something? Shouldn't you be groveling right about now? Saying thank you for giving us a chance to work for you at half price, sir? While rubbing your hands together like the pathetic little subcontractors you are?
Perfect. So we have your confirmation to cancel the contract then? Thank you so much. As soon as I said that, everyone in the room except Ben breathed a huge sigh of relief and said things like, "Phew, thank God for that," with small relieved laughs.
Huh?
Actually, that's exactly what this meeting was about. We were just discussing whether or not to continue working with Panic Collection Motors. So with your generous suggestion, we'll go ahead and cancel all current orders immediately, just as you requested.
Wait, hold on, you can't just... If you cancel, your company's gonna go under. You need our orders.
We're fine with that. Honestly, thank you.
You've gotta be kidding me. You're just bluffing. You think you can survive without us? Fine. Good luck keeping your company afloat. Not that it'll last long anyway.
Ben stormed out of the conference room, smug and satisfied and completely unaware of what was really going on. Fast forward to a few months later. I was at my desk, working like usual, when the phone rang. Everyone else was out for lunch, so I answered. Hello?
That voice. Paige, is that you? It's Ben. Ben from Panic Collection Motors.
Oh wow, long time no speak.
Your company. You must be struggling without our contract, right? Look, maybe we can give you another shot. We might be willing to sign with you again.
Ah, there it is. I could practically hear the desperation in his voice. Well, someone's panicking, huh? The truth is, I had already heard from a famous coworker at Panic Collection Motors, someone I used to work with, that the company was in serious trouble lately. So when Ben called me all flustered, trying to act like he was doing us a favor, I couldn't help it. I let out a little chuckle. Actually, our company's doing better than ever lately.
Ah! Stop lying! That's impossible! You lost our contract! How could your numbers be going up?
Well, we landed a contract with the largest car manufacturer in Japan.
What?
Yep, the CEO of that top Japanese auto company. He's none other than Paul's father-in-law, my sister-in-law's dad. Remember how I said we really hit it off talking about work at the wedding? Well, we kept in touch after that, and after looking into our company's performance and reputation, he reached out to us saying he'd love to work together. Of course, we had to go through all the proper channels first. He had our company's work thoroughly vetted, but once we passed the checks, he gave us the green light. At the time, though, our hands were full with Panic Collection Motors orders, so the very meeting Ben had barged into that day, we were discussing how to end our contract with Panic so we could make room for the new one. So when Ben came storming in, ranting and yelling about canceling our deal, he basically solved the problem for us. We didn't have to lift a finger. He just removed himself. It was perfect.
Wait a minute! How the hell does some low-level subcontractor like you land a deal with Japan's biggest car company? That's gotta be a lie! There's no way! I don't believe it. Wait, no! forget that. We need to talk. We'll restart the contract, okay? Please, we need to. If we don't, our company's gonna...
Oh, right. I did hear something about that. I heard that right after you canceled with us. Your team scrambled to find a replacement supplier and signed with some overseas company, but their work was horrible. Faulty parts, zero quality control, and now I hear the cars you've been selling, they've been breaking down left and right. Complaints piling in, recalls, lawsuits, damage to your reputation. Sounds like a real mess over there, huh? And I heard that because of your ridiculous demands and childish tantrums, employees have been quitting left and right. Well, I'm not surprised. If I had a boss like you, I wouldn't stick around either.
You think you can say whatever you want to me?
I'm just being honest. Regardless of what you say or how much you beg, we are never doing business with you again. Ever. So if you'll excuse me...
Wait! No, don't hang up! Don't!
Bye-bye now.
Please, I'm begging you, please forgive me!
But it was too late. I hung up the phone right as Ben's voice broke into a desperate, trembling scream. Pretty sure he was crying, and I didn't even feel a little bit bad. After that, it made national news that the cars sold by Panic Collection Motors were causing accidents, one after another. Weekly magazines and online media dug deep into how much CEO Ben was hated by both the employees and subcontractors of the company, and how terrible and dangerous his personality really was. In fact, Ben was forced to recall all the cars, pay compensation to the injured, and issue full refunds to the buyers. To make matters worse, the company's stock price absolutely plummeted, just as expected. Panic Collection Motors went bankrupt in the blink of an eye. Even Ben's father, the former CEO, who was still hospitalized at the time, got heavily criticized on talk shows and online for leaving the company to such an incompetent son. He was furious, reportedly yelling at Ben, "Look what you've done!" Eventually, he cut all ties with him. Drowning in debt and having become too infamous from all the media coverage, Ben couldn't even find another job. In the end, Ben had no choice but to borrow money from shady loan sharks. Eventually, he couldn't keep up with the payments, and through one of their connections, he got shipped off overseas. Now, from what I've heard, he's become a shell of his former self. Scrawny, pale, dark circles under his eyes, wrinkles everywhere. He's aged horribly. Well, with a personality like that, it was only a matter of time before karma caught up with him. Honestly, he had it coming. Meanwhile, as for me, thanks to my sister-in-law's father, work has been going incredibly well. Our company's performance keeps rising, and to top it off, I got promoted. My salary went up too, and honestly, life's never been better. Oh, and just the other day, I got another call from Paul.
Hey, Paige, did Dad get in touch with you? He wants the four of us, me, my wife, Dad, and you, to go out for some fancy Chinese food together.
Yeah, he did. I'm really looking forward to it.
By the way, he's still totally singing your praises. He's super impressed with you and your company, too. He says the work you do is top-notch.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Oh, when a client speaks that highly of you, it just makes you want to do even better, you know? I'm more motivated than ever. Time to keep giving it my all.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next?